last time we saw Oregon against a good team, it ended horribly for Dan Lanning and the Ducks. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Diving into some football from week 1, I know you boldly stated that Ohio State and Texas did not deserve to be in the top 5 after their matchup. So who would be in your top 5 after week 1?
Yeah, I mean, that was a very lackluster game. Neither team looked like they were a top 5 team. If you really like watched it and, just got through all the hype and the hoopla, just really watched the football that was being played, it was, it was nothing special. And I think they'll be better. Obviously they'll be better as the season progresses. And, Arch, hopefully for Sark and the Texas Longhorns, hopefully Arch will get better. What happened, to be honest with you, is I don't know their schedule by heart, but this is what happened. Now, they'll play some lesser opponents. He'll put up some nice numbers, and everybody be like, oh, look at him. He's great. You know what I mean? But when you're playing at a program like Texas and you come in with all the hype, there's only going to be like really 3 or 4 games a year, maybe 4, at least just, I would say 3 games a year where you're going to have your A game because the competition is on par with your talents. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you look at Texas, you look at Ohio State. Okay, that's a team in Ohio State that their talent level is on par with Texas's talent level. So you're going to have your A game. And that's how I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you by Ohio State, not by McNeese State or, these other schools that you guys may play who are not even in your conference. Right. So, like I said, he'll go and he'll have really great numbers against lesser competition probably. But then he's going to have to play, and I haven't looked at their schedule, another like stronger SEC team. And then that's how I start to judge where he actually is as far as his talents in college football. So, and Ohio State, they look okay. They didn't look great. They didn't look dominant. They played well enough to win the game, obviously, but they're going to get better as the season progresses too. I was impressed by LSU. LSU went down to Clemson, played this team, very, very veteran team with a veteran quarterback in Cade Klubnik. Some people have mentioned him in Heisman conversations. I don't think that's warranted. I don't think it was warranted for them to mention Arch Manning in a Heisman conversation. I said it on First Take last week, and then he went out to be right against the Buckeyes. Yeah. So, but I'm really like what I saw from LSU. I liked what I saw from Miami. I liked what I saw from South Carolina. There are some schools who I thought played really good competition, and they fared very well. So those are just a few of the teams who I was like, okay, I see where this team is really balling right now.
So OSU gets a little bit of credit for beating Texas, is what you're saying, just a little bit.
Ohio State?
Their defense, yeah.
I'm not taking any credit away from them, but they didn't look like a top 5 team to me. I mean, you won the game. You won the game. You get credit for that. But if you ask me, are they one of the top 5 teams in the country right now? I'm like, if they play LSU, they'd have a problem. If they play LSU right now, they'd have a problem.
I love the honesty. I love it. Give it to us straight. Nobody's saved today. I appreciate the honesty.
No, I'm just giving you, I'm not a knee-jerk reaction guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, they beat Texas. Like, they beat them 7-14 in a very lackluster game, in my opinion. Like the Miami Notre Dame game was exciting. Those teams to me were competing at a higher level. Maybe you don't feel that way, but that's what I saw on the field,
Yes, yeah. And you briefly touched on Arch. I know he struggled, but do you think fans shouldn't overreact just yet? Or do you think he can still be that generational talent? I don't like comparing guys to their brothers or uncles or fathers or whatever, but how do you feel like fans are overreacting? You feel like they're not?
Let me tell you something, young lady. This is the problem.
Okay.
When Arch went to Texas, everybody in Austin and all the Longhorn fans were overly excited because we have a Manning. The Manning name in this sport carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So they wanted all the attention. They never, shied away from the attention. The program did not shy away from the attention. Everybody, like, yeah, we got Arch Manning, we got a Manning, blah, blah, blah. It became a thing. So they loved it. They loved the attention. Listen, this is what social media is about now, right? All these programs, just about everything they do, they need to put a camera out there, record it, and put it on social media because everyone wants the attention.
Yeah.
You can't want the attention
and not walk the walk.
Well, you can't want the attention when it's a great thing, but then when things don't work out the way you wanted to, now you don't want the attention no more.
Right.
Right. Now, had Arch went out there and threw for 4 touchdowns and 378 yards, they'd still be wanting the attention. Arch had a terrible game. Now people are like, oh, we don't want to talk about this. You can't have it both ways, is what I'm saying.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Fair enough.
That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Yeah. Talking about quarterbacks, true freshman Bryce Underwood showed why he was the #1 quarterback in the 2025 draft class. How do you see him growing? What do you think his ceiling is with the program?
He has a very high ceiling, and when you watch him play, you can tell that like his talent level is there. Like he looks the part. Still some growing to do. He'll tell you that himself. It was his first, collegiate start, and but you see where the talent is. I'll give Coach Moore a tremendous amount of credit in the way he called the game, because you still have a young, quarterback who just turned 18 maybe 2 weeks ago, and this is a big moment for him. And if you look at some of the analysts after the Ohio State-Texas game, a lot of the analysts talked about Sarkisian. Like they kind of blamed it on Sarkisian, saying he didn't call a game that was conducive to making his quarterback, who's not a young quarterback. This is like Arch Manning's 3rd year there. So it's crazy how they make it seem like, well, he's like this freshman quarterback. But anyway, they were blaming Sarkisian, saying that he didn't call a game that was conducive to easing Arch into that sort of matchup. And I guess you would give Sharon credit for easing his quarterback into that game and making sure he was comfortable. And he did a good job. Sharon did a good job. So, I think that you can see the talent. I mean, the ball just pops out of his hands. He's a big quarterback. He's a big quarterback. And but yeah, I thought he handled everything well. He stayed poised and seemed like he had very good command of the offense.
So I actually just finished reading Bill Belichick's book. It was actually really, really good. Kind of talking about overcoming adversity and whatnot. And it was kind of crazy seeing his first game as a head coach in college football. Again, getting blown out by TCU. Obviously, it was just one game, but being kind of real here, looking at the bigger picture, how long do you think it will take for UNC to be a legitimate contender under Coach Belichick?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think that the fan base is going to have to be very patient and understand that as great as Bill Belichick is as a head coach, it's just not going to happen overnight. Like I think some people expected or anticipated. It's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. So they have to exercise some patience. I would say I would give him to year 3 to see some sort of vast improvement from where they are today. And that's what I would say about it.
Okay, last one for you here. With Michigan and OSU winning in back-to-back years, who has a better chance of making it 3 in a row for the Big Ten, PSU or Oregon?
It's a really good question. I mean, it's kind of like there's so much we have to see it when it comes to Penn State. It's just a lot of we need to see it when it comes to Penn State, just because they've had these fantastic rosters, but they've never been able to get over the hump. And Here they go to 2025 with another fantastic roster. It's like, do you really believe in James Franklin and the Nittany Lions that they can really get it done this year? So it depends on how much confidence you have in Drew Aller. I think that he lost his number one weapon. The tight end went to the NFL, so he's going to develop some other weapons. They say that he has a good receiving core. This is one of those situations, like I told you earlier. To me, they have a 2-game season. I don't care what they do the rest of the season. They have a 2-game season. I know they have to travel to Columbus, and they got to play Ohio State in Columbus this year. And I think they have to tussle with Oregon too. And so like that's when I judge them. Like any other game, you have the better roster. You're supposed to win. You'll be favored probably by double digits in these games. So it's not going to really show me or teach me anything. Only thing that can happen is if you lose.
Yeah,
that's it. So they're one of those teams I was telling you earlier. Like when it's a generational talent, or if it's a fantastic or great team, I'm looking at probably 3 games. And I think in Penn State's case, I don't know their schedule by heart, but I think for them is maybe 2 games that I'm like, okay, I'll see what they're made of, if they're legitimate or not when they play these 2 opponents. So yeah. Oregon is interesting with the new quarterback they got. Well, he was on the roster last year, but he's starting for them this year. The young man from Detroit. That they again, I need to see them against better competition, because the last time we saw Oregon against a good team, it ended horribly for Dan Lanning and the Ducks. I mean, it was embarrassing. Yeah, that Rose Bowl was wow. Like wow.